morning, crafty peeps. Let's see if I turn this light on, it'll be a little bit better. Yes, that's much better. Okay, so we are going to start on our first November Craftology box tutorial. And I'm so excited about this paper collection. This is Bo Bunny's Winter Wishes. It's a beautiful vintage shabby chic collection. I would say vintage chic. So what I'm going to do today is do somewhat of a shadow box ornament. Okay, so similar to what I made with my authentic these little tin tarts that I have here. I made a layered one, and we're going to do the same thing but without the tin tart, so it can be done. So first of all, this is completely up to you. I have some thin chipboard, and I went ahead and cut my first shape with the chipboard, and you have another option too. You can paint the back of it, or you can paper both sides. I'm probably going to paper both sides so that I don't have to get out my paints. Then I'm going to go ahead and use this layer too. Okay, and so we're going to go through how we're going to accomplish this. But first, I'm going to go ahead and get out my cutting board. Oh, and to mention, this is a Spellbinders Nestability. This one is S as in Sam 5-026, but you can use any layered nestable type of die, so it doesn't really matter. Or if you have several, like circle dies, if you have several circle punches that are in different sizes, you could probably do the same with that as well. So I think this is going to turn out super stinking cute. I can't wait to do this. So, let me get out my cutting board. Duh. Okay, guys, sorry. It is early in the morning. It's like 8:11. So I normally start at 9. So if I'm a little bit off the chain crazy right now, I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And I'm loving using my new cutting board from Tamra. Love this paper trimmer. Okay. So when I start cutting up my paper, I always think about what I'm going to use. And I know that y'all do this too. So I know that I'm probably not going to use this little pattern up here. So I know that I can go ahead and measure approximately how big this die is. And it's almost 6 inches. So 6 by, I apologize, about 4.5. So I know I can take my paper to 4.5 and go ahead and cut it down. Now, yes, okay. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it at, sorry, what did I say this was again? You know what? Sorry, this tape is driving me crazy. We'll just say 6.5, just to be on the safe side. Maybe 6. Maybe I can get away with 6. Let me get out my real ruler so I can see. I'm sorry, it's only 5 3/4. So I can measure it down to 6, which is perfect for me. So I can do front and back. There we go. So now this is ready to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. For my first one, I'm just going to do my back piece, and I want both my sides to be this design. I think I'm going to have, this is upside down. There we go. So I'm going to have this one as my front piece, and then this one is my back piece. In fact, you could even take advantage of that little wolf on the back side and go ahead and do that, which is probably what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and cut these out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and I decided that I'm going to use this piece of paper right here. This one is called 12-inch Winter Wishes, so that makes that easy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my washi tape, and I'm going to go ahead and line this up. I want it to be straight, otherwise it's going to be on a weird angle, and you don't want that. So I'm just going to line it up, And then I'm going to grab my next die in, and I'm going to line that up too. And I'm going to try to make it as even as possible. Trying to make it where it's actually nested in there right. And that makes it kind of difficult sometimes, but I think we got it. I'm going to get out some washi tape. I always use my cheapest washi tape because I don't want it to get stuck to my paper and rip it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit there, and I'm going to do the same on this side to keep it from moving, because if it moves, it's going to mess with your look here. And I'm just looking one more time to make sure that looks right, and I'm not so sure. I'm going to move it down just a tad bit, just a little sliver. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and then I'll be right back. So this is going to give me my window. Okay, so I'm back. So I gently removed my washi tape, and then now you should have a really pretty frame that looks like this. And then you can keep this to the side and use that for another project. You could even make a smaller ornament if you wanted to. So I'm kind of loving how this is looking right now. And for me, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here with my art glitter glue that Tamara sells in her store. You can also use any adhesive that you want, like score tape. Just I wouldn't use like a thick glue because then it'll wrinkle your paper. I gotta turn it up the right way. Okay. And then I can just slide it into place. That's what I love about glue. Get out my bone folder and burnish it in. I must have had a little glue stuck on my bone folder. Okay. So now I'm going to flip it over, and this time I'm going to use that little wolf pattern because I think it's cute, or fox, or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not a hunter, so I don't know anything about that. Now you can ink your edges first, but I'm doing mine last. I just kind of figured it'd be easier if it was on the chipboard. That way my paper wouldn't bend. Now, if you have little pop dots, you can pop dot this if you want to, or you can use foam tape, but it'd have to be a pretty thin foam tape, and mine is pretty thick. So I'm going to use pop dots. Let me go grab those, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've grabbed my pop dots and I put them to the side, and I've decided that I'm going to use like a little baby pink, since some of my elements that I'm going to cut out have that baby pink color in there, and I actually don't have a gray color dye. So I'm just going to use pink, but you can use any color that you want. And I'm going to go ahead, even though this is probably not going to be seen, the edges may be seen, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And the back side. Now there's a lot of things you could do. I'm going to go ahead and do this. You could actually back this up with chipboard too. But I think it may be hard because that centerpiece, you may move that around differently, and so it just probably wouldn't end up working unless you cut them, layered them all up at the same time and cut it. So that's about the only way I think that would work. You could add pearls around this all the way. You could use your stickles. You can use glitter. And what I'm thinking about doing is using my glitter and my art glitter glue and a brush. Or if you have Mod Podge, you could probably do that too, although Mod Podge pretty much dries too fast for me. Just want to make sure you get into all the corners and try not to bend the paper like I almost did just now. Okay. So far it's looking good. All right. So now I have to decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to use the pearls on here? Let me see what I have for pearls. I really want to do the glitter though, so I'm going to get out a piece of paper that I used for my glitter. I'm going to get out my art glitter glue here, and I'm trying to find a little brush that I could use. Let's see here. That one's too tough. I guess I'll just use my finger. That's okay. And then I'm going to get my glitter ready because this dries pretty fast, so I may have to do this in sections. It's easier if you have a brush. It's not as messy. But you do with what you got. Okay, so now I'm pretty much done glittering it. I can tap it real good to make sure see if I'm missing any sections. And it looks like I did a pretty darn good job, which is shocking because I usually mess it up. But that's what I love about art glitter glue. It works really good. So look at how pretty that is. Oh, loving that shimmer. Okay, so now it's easy for me to just take my paper, and like I've had this glitter for like I don't even know how many years now, and I still have half a bottle left. So, and this one was just an extra fine glitter that was called Treehouse Studio, and I got this at Hobby Lobby. So I'm just going to put this to the side because I don't need that right now for the moment. And I still think I'm going to go ahead and add some pearls, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now because I don't want to mess with it once I have it on here. So I don't want to accidentally bend my paper. Had I, you know, done another piece of chipboard underneath here, that probably would have worked, but I don't know if my cutter, my Big Kick would have been able to handle that. So, and I'm sorry, it's not a Big Kick anymore, it's the E-Bosser. My bad. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tweezers out, and I'm thinking I might do like the larger ones there. I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the bottom of it anyway because I don't trust this tape. Just saying. So I just got to center that. I'm going to go ahead and add one down at the bottom here. Oops. Oh my goodness. Had I had some gray pearls, that would have looked pretty too, but I want to keep with this pink theme. Kind of like in the pink and grays. I could do some small ones too. And I might do those like right there. So I will fast forward through all this boring stuff for you. Okay, I might add some more pearls later, but it looks like it's pretty good to me. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my foam dots, and I always back them up with glue because to me they never work right. I mean, they won't stay, and if I do this, it will. And I'm going to pretty much keep it as close to the edge as possible, but not over the edge where it can be seen. I think I'm going to add some reinforcers like right about there. Since I have enough to do that, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and once it's dry I will remove all of these little pieces, add glue to that, and then add this on top. In the meantime, I can go ahead and start fussy cutting out what I think I want in the middle of my card. And ornament. I'm really liking this little angel over here. But let me just look through my other papers real quick and see what I can find. Okay, I'm back. So now I've fussy cut my little items, and I went ahead and I used my stickles from my Craftology box and just layered it twice here on my little snowflake that I cut out. Then I also cut out one of the little girls from the paper, and I went ahead and I did edge both of them again with the pink. This one I'm not going to sparkle her because I want the little sparklies back. You know, I want the bling in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and get my glitter glue out. And I forgot to put my little cap on there. So I'm going to go ahead, make sure I get those edges because I don't want any to lift. And I'm going to approximately put it here. And I'm just going to press down. And then I'm going to take some of my little pop dots, is what I call them. I don't know what other people call them, but I'm just going to line some up on my little girl. You don't have to use these. You could also use chipboard to do that. Oops, that's what I've done when I've run out of pop dots. And you know what I totally forgot to do? That's okay. I'm just going to press really hard. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these off. And fling those to the side of my desk. Okay. And then I'm going to put her to the side for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Okay, I think I got them all off now. Or at least I thought I did. Okay, they're all sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this baby on. And I'm going to go ahead and add my glitter glue because I want to make sure it stays on there. And I'm also going to add a little bit of seam binding ribbon. And I'm thinking of doing the pink. And I'm just going to do a little pinch of it, not too much. And I'm going to roll it like that. I'm going to, I know this is kind of messy, but get my lobster clasp, and I'm actually going to have to cut a little bit off because it's not wanting to cooperate. And I'm going to tuck it through my lobster clasp. And I forgot to mention that, yes, if you want to do it like this, you can. Otherwise, you can actually have it hanging like that. Either way, that's completely up to you. And then you're going to get your glue gun. You can either tie this, that's up to you also. I'm not going to. I'm going to use my glue gun, and I'm going to glue that in there. And I forgot to plug in my glue gun, so I will be right back. Okay, so I am back, and I've zoomed in a little bit for you. Okay, I went ahead and I glue gunned my little piece down here, and I actually want to say that I did make a little knot right here first. I just, you know, tied it once just so that it would prevent it from spinning. And then I went ahead and added in a couple more pop dots in places that I thought it looked a little flat. So now I'm going to take my little girl, and I'm going to add little dabs of glue on the back. And like I said, you don't have to use the pop dots if you don't want to. And I'm just going to tuck her in there. And gently press it down. And then set it aside to dry. Now, this part of the tutorial is completely optional to you. Like I said, you don't have to use the lobster clasp. You can do that on your own. I'm going to show you. Okay, so I went ahead and I made a little bow with my Zetter Bow et al. And I did kind of get my glue gun and pinch these together and hold them down. And now I'm just going to add my bow. I'm going to put a little bit of, let me see if I like this side. I do like that side better for some odd reason. I'm going to go ahead and add some glue on the back. And then pinch it down and add it into place. So I don't burn my little fingers, and I can press down on there. And I kind of like how these are. I think this one is a little bit shorter than the other, and I may fix that real quick. Oops, goodness. Okay. So now this looks, I mean, just gorgeous all on its own. I mean, you don't even have to add more to it. It's up to you if you want to add some like snow down here or something like that. You could totally do that. That would be beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to do the dangle at the bottom, and this is completely optional. I used this fishing line. I got it for like 99 cents at Walmart. I like it because it's a little bit sturdier than thread, but you can also use thread. I like button thread because it's a little bit thicker. Okay, so then I have my little bead cap. I have my little bead. I have my seam binding ribbon and just some, you know, loose pieces of ribbon and stuff that I've had in my collection. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a piece of gray, and I'm going to just kind of layer this in here. I'm going to go ahead and do my pink, this, I'm going to do another pink, and then I'm going to do my laces. I'm just kind of like layering it in here. And then I'm going to do my gray. And I'm going to just try to make sure that it's lined up. I'm going to find my center, which this gray is not lined up properly. Let's see what else is not. I think everything else is pretty much okay. So, and I really want this on top. I want that big chunky one on the bottom. So, let me go ahead and get out my thread or whatever you're going to use. I'm going to do a pretty long piece. I know it's kind of hard to tell because this is invisible and you can't see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to put it underneath here. And then hold it in between my fingers and try to find my, and again, that big ribbon wants to keep popping up on the top. Try to keep that one down below. I might have to redo that. Okay. For some odd reason, that big fat ribbon's wanting to get in my way. Let me just put that one down first then. Maybe that'll work a little bit better. Okay, here we go again. One more time. Let's hope that this is a charm. Go ahead and put this underneath. Oops, I'm going to go ahead and basically do my first knot. double knot it. So now it looks something like this. Okay? And I know this looks crazy right now, but it's going to work. So now I'm going to trim some of this off. I got way too much going on. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my bead cap, and I'm going to put it right through the center there. And you can really add as many beads as you want to. It's just up to you how many beads you want to put on here. Okay, and I'm doing the bead cap facing down instead of towards my charm. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and double knot it again, or you can keep adding charms on. That's up to you. Oh, not charms, beads. My bad. Okay, so now I have it like that. Then I'm going to get another piece of my thread. If you want to, so that these aren't like flinging everywhere, you can go ahead and tie this real quick like this. Just up at the top, because you'll still have plenty of room. As long as yours isn't short, you should have plenty of room to move that down. Okay, then I'm going to lay it down. Get out another piece. I'm going to make this one not as long as the other one, but long enough. I'm going to get my charms. I'm going to go ahead and put those on here. And I've already got my charms on a why do I keep on forgetting what that is called? A jump ring. What is my, oh my goodness. I apparently have not had enough calcium. Let me tell you what, like I said to everybody, don't ever get your thyroid removed. It's miserable. Okay. And I'm going to double knot it again. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold this down so it's not in my way. Let me use my glue. And I know it's so hard to see this. I apologize, but this is the only way I know how to do this and show you. So then I'm going to do like a little, I want to have like a little bump is what I call it, between my bead cap, and I just think it's going to look kind of cute. So I'm going to go ahead and it moved. That's the one thing about this, is that it will move. Sometimes it helps if you have two hands, like another pair of hands to help you with this, but I'm trying to make this work without that, because my kids are at school. Okay, then I'm going to wrap it around once I figure that I have what I'm looking for, and I'm going to keep on doing that several times. And really, this is going to work a lot better with thread. I just have to say that. But my daughter stole my thread, so I don't know where it's at. So I'm just dealing with what I got. Okay, then on the back, this is where I'm going to finish off my little tie. I'm going to knot it really tight. Oops. And then cut off my remains and discard those. And I'm triple knotting this because I don't want it to come apart. I'm going to go ahead and trim it pretty close. And since my string is invisible, it's not going to be noticeable. And now it looks something like this. Isn't that cute? I'm going to go ahead and cut off that extra one that's like uber long. And then I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and possibly apply a pearl. I'm going to see how that looks. Nope, not liking that. Let me see how it looks just by itself. I really kind of like that. You could add a little small tiny bow. I might do that real quick. Let me see how that looks. Let me grab a fork, and this is how I do my tiny bows. And my seam binding ribbon, where did it go, George? Where did it go? There it is. I'm going to grab a fairly decent sized piece. And I take it around my fork. And then I cross over and then tuck underneath. And then I cross over again. Okay. And bring it through again. And then now, whoops, I would tie my knot. I'm going to tie it pretty tight. Now with this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut off a small tail. In fact, I may do it where you can't even see that tail. In fact, that's what I think I'm going to do. So it all depends. If you want a long tail, you can keep those ribbons on there. If you don't, then you can go ahead and toss those. And then I'm going to push this down. I'm going to apply my glue. And you have to work kind of fast. One little drop. Get out your tweezers or your hand, whatever you want to do. And then press down. And get rid of any of the extra glue strings. Wow, that looks cute. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and decide on how I'm going to attach this. I might do another small bow right here. Haven't decided yet on that. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and clip this. I have my little piece right here that is holding that into place, and I've glued it on there securely, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to put this in there, bring it through. I can get the other piece wherever that went. There it is. Okay, let me get my other one. And you have to make sure that it's on each side of your sticky tape. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to triple knot it like I did on the other piece. And I'm allowing a little bit of room for it to dangle. You could also use chain if you want to do that instead of this, and then you would use an eyelet to attach it, so, and then tie it in. But this is your ornament all done. I just love how this turned out. Well, thank y'all for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or email me at blackbirdfarms@gmail.com. Again, stay tuned for our next Craftology box tutorial. Bye, y'all.